Hello, everyone. Welcome to Finish It Friday number 3. In this video, I'm going to be working on a binding for my friend's quilt and doing some bears. I ended up doing this section in real time so that you could see how I measure and how I determine how many strips I need for my binding. So what I'm doing in this part, I'm measuring both the vertical and horizontal. I actually folded this quilt in fourths so that I could measure it. And then I am here figuring out how many strips I need. I've taken the vertical measurement and the horizontal measurement and multiplied those by 2. Since the quilt is folded, it's an easy way to get that measurement. If I'm working by myself, then it makes more sense to fold it in fourths than to try to lay the whole thing out. I can do that easily if it's just me. If I have some help, I love to lay it out first. Now I'm going to explain this, but I'm going to come up to the camera too so that you can see it. I've taken both of those measurements, multiplied them by 2, and then I'm going to add all 4 sides together. So you're going to see that here. Let me show you. I'm getting in front of the camera. So this is the vertical twice and the horizontal twice. That gives you the perimeter of the quilt. I'm going to divide it by the width of the fabric, which is about 42 inches. And so that gives me 7.5, which is about 8 strips of fabric. That's how much I'm going to need. Now I'm speeding up this part of the video because it's a pretty long section. But what I learned is that it's really easy to make binding because I did this all in about 30 minutes, maybe a little bit longer than 30 minutes, but I was able to get it all done in one session of the UFO video. So I've already pressed the fabric. As I said, this is for my friend's quilt, and her fabric has stars in it. And so I got a kind of constellation fabric to work with for this. And at the end, I kind of measured it to see if I could cut some squares out of it, but I decided not to do that. I have some bears here that I've been working on too. So I had to move that stuff out of the way to get ready for this. At this point, I am stitching the strips together, and I stitch at a 45-degree angle for my binding. It gives it a teensy bit of stretch, and it makes it a little easier to put together, in my opinion. All right, so since it's only 8 strips, it's not a lot. I am doing for my leader ender, just my pellon. And now I'm cutting those extra triangles off of the strips. And what I use those for is the start of crumb blocks. So they're going to go in my crumb stash. At this point, I'm going to press the seams open on all of them for the quilt, for the binding. And then I'm going to press this binding strip in half. And it really, I couldn't believe that I did all of this in about 30 minutes. I think if I wasn't timing myself, it would have taken much longer. But I'm still glad that I went ahead and did it because now I'll feel better about going ahead and getting the quilt sandwiched because I prefer to make the binding first. The thought of making binding after I've already quilted a quilt is just too daunting for me. Once I'm done with the quilting, then I'm ready to put a binding on and just be done. So I was able to get all of this done, and I think you're going to see me how I fold up the binding too, but maybe not. I'm not sure. Let's see here. I really enjoyed working on this. I just can't believe that I got it done so quickly. Yeah, so here I am folding up the binding, and it does take a little bit of time to get it all folded up, but this way I can just throw it in my shoebox and it's ready to go. Typically, I would not do bears on my UFO. I prefer to do something more simple like some piecing, but I feel like I'm kind of behind on these bears, so I wanted to go ahead and get those done. At this point, I am working on sewing the legs. I am using a pattern from the Make a Memory Bear Etsy shop, this pattern that I'm using is actually discontinued on there from their shop. And what happened when I purchased it, like I purchased it on a Friday, and then by that Monday it was discontinued. But they do have on the Make a Memory Bear Etsy shop, they have a lot of different patterns that may be a little bit more accessible. I don't know. I've watched some videos on them and they were okay, but I just prefer the way I'm doing it. Probably if I tried something new, I would feel differently about it, but in this case, it's okay. I enjoy making the bears this way, and I think now I've gotten used to it. One thing that I like about this bear pattern, and not my pattern, but this pattern, is that it calls for a lot of pinning and so that you can get everything lined up perfectly. I'm not normally a pinner, but this helps everything to line up and it makes it easier. So I do enjoy that part of it. And like once you pin everything, it's so adorable. Another thing that I like about this pattern is the stay stitching. Even though I got the idea from a different pattern, from the Two Nannies pattern, to do the stay stitching, but it really helps hold everything together and hold the shape better. So it's going really well. These bears are the 101 Dalmatians bears, and they are just so cute. I enjoy every little second of making these. They're turning out great. And what is also great about this is that you get to see me do a little bit of stuffing. I haven't talked about stuffing bears on the channel, but you do get to see that today, which is pretty cool. I do a lot of clipping the curves on these. And again, that's something that I thought I would do more as a garment sewer, but there is a lot of clipping the curves and that helps everything kind of fit together too nicely. I tried it without clipping the curves and it just didn't sit right, or it didn't rest well. I guess that's a way to put it. I don't know if it's the best way to put it. So I've done some stay stitching here at the top of the leg. At this point, I'm piecing the head together, so the head center with the two head sides. Now that I have a method of putting these bears together, they go together quickly-ish. Well, no, I won't say that. They go together easily. I don't know how quick it is, but because of all the pinning and the stay stitching. But now I have a system, and so it's a little bit easier. So those of you who want to try making bears, I would encourage it. It's a great project to try and just see if you like it. I would give yourself some grace and try it a couple times before you make a definite decision whether or not to continue it. To me, it's a worthwhile project. It is a time commitment, but I think it's worth it because they always turn out so cute, and the people who receive them are so happy to get them. So I would encourage you, if you're interested, if you've even given it a teensy bit of thought, go ahead and give it one try. It can't hurt to make one bear, even if it's just for yourself. I still have the bear that I made for myself on my bed. And I wanted to make another one. I just haven't taken the time to do it yet. But I like making the bears, and they're cute. In this video, I am stuffing the bears. I use that tool that comes in the polyfill, that whatever that tool is called, that's what I'm using to stuff it. And I am doing the torso, or the belly part of this bear. And for this one, you actually stuff the head first. So I've already done that for both the bears. And then you stuff the torso. And this is the most tedious part of making these bears because it takes a lot more stuffing than you think it would to get it sturdy enough. And so I am taking the polyfill, I'm kind of fluffing it out a little bit before I put it into the back of the bear. And then after I do that, you still have to move it around a little bit. I think at that point I had gotten that torso stuffed as much as I wanted to. So that's why I switched over. If I have more than one bear, I do set a timer and work on one bear for a certain amount of time and then switch to a different bear because I get bored, and it feels less rewarding just sitting there stuffing one bear for however long it takes. So I like to alternate. Let's see, as far as the all the way to 10K subscribers, What's interesting this week is between Wednesday and today, which is Friday, I went down from 8,273 to 8,271. I'm not sure what happened. I would encourage you please to subscribe. Help me reach the goal of 10K subscribers by next July. I appreciate you so much for your support. I have so much planned for this channel, and I'm excited to see how it grows and how we grow as quilters and creators during this process. I am still stuffing at this point in real life, not on the video. I think I'm stuffing both of the legs, and hopefully I'll get those finished this weekend. I'm also excited about the sew-alongs that are happening. I'm going to link both of them in the description box. One is the jewelry box sew-along, which is happening every week, and the other one is the Starlight Star Bright, which I'm going to start once a month. The intro video is already out for that, so if you haven't checked that out, go ahead and check it out. Thank you so much for watching. Thumbs up this video, share it with your friends, subscribe if you haven't already. I'm so glad that you're a part of our quilting community. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!